Of Universal destinations and experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
I was talking this whole damn time, child. Welcome in. Glad to have you all here. Listen, good morning to you, and you. Welcome into another edition of Brainley's Virtual Tour live on Sunday morning. This is the day the Lord has made. We choose to rejoice and be glad in this day. 7 people in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Florentine is here. Good to see you, good sir. I watched Wicked for Good. I loved it. Of course, it was going to be a darker version of Wicked. Because guess what? Like, evil rose up in the beginning, and now you get to see the aftermath of it and the battle between good and evil, right? And we got to see these, young girls grow up to be women. I think that was supposed to be the story. Yeah, I was about to say, I couldn't hear myself for a minute. But yeah, that's why I truly thought so. I did some, percolating around and stuff like that. I'm like, I wonder if there could be a Wicked 3. So I went to ChatGPT and Google Gemini, and they came up with some stuff, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. So with that being said, higher is waiting, low is available, but either way, we got to go on tour. Yes, indeed, we do. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And then there is me. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Glad to have all of you here. Let's get to the getting and doing what we do. Oh, man. I'm excited. Okay. So here is the first one. Now, this is all I did, right? I said, picking up from the ending of Wicked for Good, create Wicked 3, right? So this is the concept for Wicked 3, the Emerald Scar. Picking up a few years after Elphaba's departure, okay? So this is what AI did. Okay, I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Here we go. So, summary, title Wicked 3, The Emerald Scar setting, odds a few years after the events of Wicked for Good, core conflict, the fragile peace of prosperity, Glinda or Galinda has built or threatened by a new form of tyranny. The subtle, suffocating control bureaucracy and the lingering fear of magic spearheaded by a charismatic but insidious figure. Meanwhile, a threat from the outside stirs, forcing Elphaba and Hero to confront the world they left behind. Theme, the cost of redemption versus the comfort of acceptance and the danger of replacing one kind of dictatorship with another. Okay, so that's the opening. The summary, rather, for Wicked 3, The Emerald Scar. And you're probably wondering, well, why is it called the Emerald Scar? Well, think about this. The scar of Elphaba and the scar of the Emerald City. And there's a scar that needs to be healed. This is the final chapter through this prison, okay? So, yes, indeed, there. Let's see, does AI literally know Wicked for Good? Well, if not, it knows the Broadway story Act 2. Yes. So let's keep going here. So characters, Glinda, the good, seasoned ruler, still glamorous but burned by the weight of leadership. She desperately wants to preserve the peace, but is slowly realizing that her carefully constructed goodness is alienating the very people she swore to protect. Scarecrow Pharaoh has regained much of his mind and memory. He wanders the corners of Oz, serving as Glinda's secret mobile intelligence, forever torn between his duty to Glinda and his longing for Elphaba. Elphaba the witch, living in quiet seclusion on the border of Gilkin and Vinicus territory. She and Pharaoh occasionally meet in secret, but she is older, weary, but her power remains sharp. Madame Warble shadow a chilling, lingering presence in the Emerald City, haunting Glinda. Warble's former magic and influence have not fully vanished. Governor Volter, a new villain, a young, charismatic, and chillingly efficient bureaucrat. He is the architect of the anti-magic edict and uses the populace's ingrained fear of the Wicked Witch to seize or serve control from Glinda. He represents the danger of institutional lawful evil. So one evil leaves and another one comes in. So here's Act 1, the price of peace. Scene 1, the polished Emerald City. Oz is glittering and orderly under Glinda's rule. The Scarecrow decree outlawing the breeding of winged animals is still in effect, and the concept of goodness has become synonymous with strict adherence to laws. Glinda is tired, barely sleeping, and haunted by the memory of Morble. Scene 2, the edict. Governor Volter introduces the anti-magic edict, which is obscenely about protecting Oz from potential wickedness. The edict requires registration of all citizens with magical accessory or ability, like those from the Venicus, and proposes the Magic King of enchanted artifacts. Glinda opposes it privately, but is publicly pressured to sign it to maintain stability. Scene 3, the secret meeting. Elphaba the Scarecrow meet under the skies of an abandoned windmill. Elphaba sensed the shift in Oz's atmosphere, a tightening but not a healing. The Scarecrow is desperate for Elphaba to return and help Glinda, but Elphaba refuses, believing her presence will only fuel the new anti-magic movement, which she has struggled with her own magic, which has been ever growing a rag since her death. So that is Act 1, The Price of Peace. Okay, all right. Act 2, The Crack Show. The first spark, a series of carefully staged accidents and misunderstandings began to destabilize the district. Baltimore blames unregistered magic citizens with fictitious origins are marginalized and imprisoned. Glinda's trapped. Glinda attempts to use her political power against Volter, but she finds her hands tied by the very law she helped create. She realizes the public's love for Glinda the Good is conditioned. They love the idea of her more than the truth. The Scarecrow's mission. The Scarecrow investigates Volter and discovers a dark secret. Volter is systematically gathering the remnants of Madame Morable's hidden medical research and planning to weaponize it and cleanse Oz of all nonconformity. He attempts to warn Glinda, but the message is intercepted. Elphaba returns. A group of vacant citizens desperate for help travel to Elphaba's refuge. They beg her rather to be their protector, not with the witch but Green Sentinel. Hesitantly, she agrees. She reappears at a desolate corner of Oz, not as a defiant villain, but a reluctant leader of the persecuted. So as you see, Elphaba has evolved from the Wicked Witch of the West to being the hero, right? Because, as they say, you live long enough to be the hero, or you died, or what do they always say? Hang on, let me see. Yes, either you'll die a hero or you'll live long enough to see yourself become the villain, right? So, Alpha was already dead somewhat, right? So let's keep going here. Act 3, The Emerald Scar. Confrontation. The sky. Elphaba sends a message to Glinda, a cloud of green smoke only visible to her, challenging Volter. Glinda is forced to choose: publicly condemn Elphaba and the Vikinist people or portray her carefully crafted image. The Stand. Elphaba and the Vikinist citizens make a stand in a major city square. Volter's forces, armed with Morable's devices, attempt to capture them. Just as the fight starts, Glinda arrives. Glinda's confession. Glinda steps between the two forces in a heart-wrenching public speech. She admits that her goodness has been formed cowardice and a desire to be loved that led her to ignore true injustice. She publicly revokes the anti-magic edict and arrests Volter for misuse of power and inciting fear. The sacrifice. Volter attempts to use a powerful magic residue against Glinda, but the Scarecrow intervenes, taking the blast. The force of the magic is too much for the strong body, and he is damaged beyond immediate repair. Elphaba uses her ultimate power to save Figaro's soul, but not his body, forcing her to confront the true extent of her love and power. The new Oz. The final scene shows Glinda standing beside the heavily damaged Scarecrow, who is more now the sentient, a powerful magic ward, as Elphaba and her followers disappear back into the vast wild territories of Oz. Glinda has lost her glamour but gained true respect. She is now focused on reforming the council, building a land not based on fear of magic but on the rule of justice. She knows she will never be truly good in the eyes of the public, but she will be right. So that is Act 3, The Emerald Scar. And the final line, Glinda looking out over a city where the green stones are now patched with other colors. The scars are the places where the light gets in Elphaba. And in Oz, we have so much work left to do. So this framework allows Elphaba to become a revolutionary leader outside the system, while Glinda evolves into a true reformer in it, with the Scarecrow serving as the enduring tragic bond between them. Okay, so there is that. So what did you think of that version of Wicked 3, The Emerald Scar? You know what I really liked about this? It shows that after, Elphaba and Figaro, they left together, but it seems like they still meet in secret because they still don't want to be caught. They still feel like there's a fear there. So they're still together, right? But it's literally like next door neighbors, right? So, but also too, in this version, they could probably still live together, but with this version, you really do see like Elphaba really does love Figaro, but is still scared of her power. So like, listen, stay in the neighborhood. I'll still come to your house, but I don't want you to be hurt. And there's a new evil coming that forces Glinda to really finish her act, because of this act, right? In this act, it is the final battle between the wizard and Elphaba. But Glinda has not had her final battle, right? So there is that one. So what did you think of that one, huh? How cool is that one? Now, there is another version of this here. I'm going to pull that up there as you guys get your comments up here. But yes, I really I wanted to do this live because I thought it would be fun just to, see what could be, when it comes to Wicked 3. I want to see Elphaba get a chance to be loved by the people, or just get a glimpse of what she wanted is to be a hero. And I think that's where this goes. I really do believe that's where this goes. You know what I mean? Is that everybody sees Glinda the good, but finally Elphaba will get her chance to be that hero, right? And before we move on, I want to bring up an article. I put reference articles in the description box below, but I wanted to bring up one in particular that I think will make a lot of sense. And hopefully this will give some context, conjecture, and connection, because a lot of people are saying like, I think Wicked is good. Bo and Yang said we're good right here, but I do believe that this quote right here really says quite a lot here. So give me a moment. So let me bring this up. Hey, Dustin, winning, welcome in. Glad to have you here. So here is this right here from Gizmodo right here. So from Gizmodo, the writer for Wicked for Good has a perfect hook for the third movie. So making the stage show Wicked to 2 movies was controversial enough. Now, because the film versions have been so wildly successful, everyone's imagining what a potential third movie would look like. And one person has a really good idea for it. Speaking to Deadline, Dana Fox, who co-wrote the script for Wicked for Good with the writer of the original show, Winnie Halserman, points to a specific line at the end of the new film that she thinks could be a perfect way to continue the story. Of course, if that even happens, there are currently no plans, but when Wicked for Good almost makes $200 million this weekend, that could very well change. The line is from the very end of the movie and could be considered a spoiler. So here's your final warning. Okay, so listen. In Wicked for Good, Elphaba, played by Cynthia Erivo, fakes her death at the hands of Dorothy, as seen in The Wizard of Oz, and heads to a mysterious place beyond Oz to live with her prince turned scarecrow, Pharaoh, played by Jonathan Bailey. Glinda, Ariana Grande, isn't made fully aware of the plan, but there's only a hint that maybe she still thinks her friends are alive. And so in the film, Elphaba delivers the line, "I know she can never know that we're alive." Is left at that as the couple walks into the sunset, but Fox thinks that is the way into a third movie if it were to take place. I would be honored if anyone asked me to be part of Wicked 3, Fox said, and I think they are such beloved characters that seeing what they were up to, I mean, to me, the moment where Elphaba says a voiceover, "I know that she could never know that we're alive," I was like, somebody feels like they're asking to find out if we are alive at some point. That really feels like, hello, that's spicy to me. I love the idea that we can meet up with them again someday, which again isn't currently scheduled to happen, but one never knows, especially if you look back at the original source material. Before the movies, most of us knew Wicked as this wildly successful Broadway show, but the show was based on a 1995 book by Gregory Maguire, which itself had multiple sequels. The musical already differed quite significantly from Maguire's book, but the source material does exist with plenty of ideas of where Elphaba and Glinda go next. So, not to mention too, there are spin-off books of the world. So there's a whole Wicked universe that will happen. I remember I covered an article from rollingout.com with Shirley Ralph, and she said she would like to play in that universe. So yes, indeed. All right. So here's this one here. Now, the first one from Google Gemini, I just said picking up from the end of Wicked, right? So then I added some details right here. Picking up from the end of Wicked for good, where Pharaoh arrives at Kokomo, where Elphaba emerges from a trapdoor, having faked her death to ensure that he's never seen again, never see Oz again. They depart Oz while the Grimmery activates for Glinda, create Wicked 3. So here it is here, Wicked 3, the Grimmery's legacy. Because think about it. Now, we had the Emerald Scar, right? Which, is dealing with the aftermath of the Scar of the Emerald City and the scars of Glinda and Elphaba, right? But we've never really heard about the Grimmery and what the Grimmery is really all about. So let's get into it. Part 1, the Emerald City and the New Order. Chapter 1, Glinda compromised. The news of the witch's death and the wizard's fight sweeps through Oz, leaving a power vacuum and population reeling. Glinda the Good, faces a monumental task, rebuilding a stable government and healing the divisions between the Munchkins, Marlins, Rinkins, Gillings, and the new emancipated animals. She immediately distracts the wizard regime and the secret police, but realizes that rapid change is dangerous. She adopts a strategy of control revelation. She maintains the narrative that the witch was evil, but quietly commissions a review of all anti-animal legislation, beginning with the removal of cages. Her first act is to issue a formal, if vague, pardon for the late Madame Marvel, blaming her for the worst of the wizard's excesses. This maintains the illusion of Glinda's unwavering goodness while bearing the more complicated truth about Elphaba's innocence and her own complicity. Glinda discovers the activated Grimmery in the wizard's former study is vibrating with latent power, pages fluttering. A new inscription appears on the opening page. The truth does not set you free, but it does make you more powerful. So the Grimmery, right, becomes a character in this thing, right? Rachel Zegler will be the new Dorothy or main character. I don't think we need that personally. I will say one more thing. No one would mind seeing Zegler taken away by the flying monkeys. You are so bad. Stop that. You are so bad. So this is the first chapter of this, right? And what I love about this is that, the Grimmery has been in part 1 and part 2, but we've never seen the Grimmery as a character. So now the Grimmery is basically the star of this third film, and the Grimmery is going to tie Glinda and Elphaba's legacy together in a whole new fashion. So let's keep going here. So here is chapter 2, the Grimmery's Whisper. Glinda attempts to use the Grimmery to help Oz, but the spells are difficult and unpredictable. She realizes that its true purpose is not just to cast spells, but to reveal deep hidden truths about the world and her place in it. She attempts to cast a spell of clarity to help the newly formed Council of Oz agree on the Constitution, but instead the spell backfires, revealing a memory of Pharaoh, not dead but climbing out of the cave, transforming into the Scarecrow, witnessed by a young, ambitious Gillen clerk named Nessa Rose replacement. Yeah, Nessa Rose is dead, as we all know, but there is a replacement. The revelation briefly paralyzes the council with confusion, undermine Glinda's authority. Glinda locks the Grimmery away, realizing that wielding power requires a level of ruthless self-honesty that she is not yet prepared for. She chooses stability over absolute truth. The clerk who saw the vision begins to quietly spread rumors about the Scarecrow's return, hinting that the death of the wicked witch was nothing but a sham. So, hey, Kenneth Bland, welcome in. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're just in the middle of some Wicked 3 talk now. There is no official news, okay? I just went to Google Gemini and ChatGPT, asked them to do some work for me, and we're just talking about, which version could be the one that could potentially happen, right? So that's all we're doing. Thank you, Kenneth Bland. Good to see you here. Glad to have you here. So what I love about this part right here, right, is now we see the Grimory activated in the aftermath of Wicked Part 1 and Wicked for Good Part 2. So it seems like the Grimory has a soul of its own, right? So yes, it is. So now chapter 2, Beyond Oz, part 2 rather, Beyond Oz, chapter 3, Elphaba and Pharaoh's Refuge. Elphaba and Pharaoh now permanently in his human form, no longer a scarecrow, which is very interesting because remember what Mount Marble said, a spell from the Grimory can never be reversed. But the Grimory said, hold up, shorty, hold up, ish. Hold up, shorty, hold up, ish. Hold up, shorty, hold up, ish. I have the final say so, which Mount Marble never finds out. So, could the Grimory have a mind of its own of, okay, you casted the spell, and the spell was done in truth, then I will grant you what you want, right? But if the spell was done in bad, I will showcase to you what you want. But believe me, it's going to be exactly what you want, right? So, could the Grimory have a conscience? Because like I said, spells from the Grimory are not supposed to be reversed, but now Pharaoh is now fully in his human form, no longer a scarecrow. So in a far unmapped corner of the Munchkin Land plains near the coast, they live in deliberate obscurity, adopting the names of Alva and Friend. Elphaba is haunted by the ease which she adopted evil and the necessity of faking her death. She spends her days poring over a few savage pages of the Grimory, sinking away to undo the damage of her life without revealing her existence. Now, could this mean I have to start watching Wicked, need to finish LOL. You are good. If anything, you're just here having a good time with us. And this is just speculation, right? This is just speculation at this point. That's all it is. It's just speculation. You know what I mean? So, okay. I thought that would do it. No, I'm gonna do this. Do that. No, okay. I'm sorry. I was trying to bring your comments on the stage, but it'll block the wording. So here we go. Right here. So like I said, could Nessa Rose? That's what I meant to say. Could Nessa Rose come back? Could there be a revitalization spell? And if Nessa Rose comes back, then what will that do? Oh my Lord! I know. Universal Pictures, call me. Let's keep going here. Pharaoh, wary but content, supports her, reminding her that good is what you do when no one is looking. They agree that the truest form of redemption is simply living a harmless life. Their peace is shattered when a small orphan animal, a badger cub whose parents were persecuted by the wizard, finds its way to his cottage. Elphaba feels a maternal pull, and the realization dawns. Her purpose is no longer to save Oz, but to nurture the idea of a safe Oz starting with this one small, vulnerable creature. And what if the bear that, protected and raised up Elphaba also comes back? See how many things can happen? Oh, my Lord. And imagine, if you will, right, in this Grimory legacy, what if the Grimory could give new interpretations of the wishes of Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Coward Lion? Number 4, Nessa Rose Ghosts. Chapter 4, Nessa Rose Ghosts. In Vinicus, Nessa Rose's former palace remains empty, a shrine to the Wicked Witch of the East. Bog, the Tin Woodman, now the self-appointed guardian Nessa Rose's memory, becomes obsessed with finding the truth about Elphaba and his heartlessness. The consequent Morble spell has left him. Now, Morble did not cast it. It was Nessa Rose that cast the spell, right? Has left him with a twisted sense of justice. He believes Glinda is covering up the truth is Kir Para, and that Elphaba is alive and must be found to answer for Nessa Rose's death. He stumbles upon a coded diary kept by Nessa Rose. The final entry written just before the house fell details her attempt to use a piece of Grimory's magic to get Pharaoh's attention, and her realization was that she was the truly wicked one, trapping Bog in his form, right? Because here's the thing. Bog does not know that it was Nessa Rose that did what she did to him, right? And also, too, why was she trying to get Pharaoh's attention? So there's two storylines right there. Bog's heartless determination wavers. He realizes the truth. He's been seeking vengeance for a crime Nessa Rose herself admit. His focus shifts from finding Elphaba to uncovering Glinda's political machinations. Now, like I said, Nessa Rose could come back with a revival spell, and then that would be a very interesting conversation between Nessa Rose and Bog. And could the revival out and the revitalization spell bring back Bog from the Tin Man into the former Munchkin that he was, right? Or if there is an afterlife spell where he could speak to, somebody who has passed on, that they're living in the afterlife, and you can bring them up and talk to them, right? So there's all those possibilities as well. Chapter 3, the Convergence. Chapter 5, the Heir of Oz. Years have passed. Glinda has successfully stabilized Oz, but by the cost of her own happiness, she is the perfect, eternal, cheerful icon. But inside, she is hollowed out by the constant compromise. She is forced to confront the ambitious Glinda Clerk from Chapter 2, who has now become a powerful member of the Council, threatening to reveal the truth about Pharaoh Scarecrow to stabilize her. Glinda, in a moment of desperation, pulls out the Grimory. She doesn't want to use for a destructive bell, but she seeks the spell of unburdening. The Grimory is violently. The spell does not free her from burdens, but rather magnifies her deepest, most hidden wish. So was that the Grimory bullshit meter? I don't want this bullshit. You're going to take this burden, but I will give you peace. So the wish to see Elphaba one last time, to apologize and to know that she was truly safe. The wish acts like a beacon. Chapter 6, the long road back. The beacon reaches Elphaba in the remote Munchkin plain. She understands it immediately, a distress call, but also a final unregarded expression of love, not from Glinda the Good, but from Glinda, her friend. Elphaba, now comfortable in her simple life, has achieved a different kind of goodness. She decides that she can't risk exposing herself to odds, but she cannot leave her friend in such despair. She uses the last of her great power, not to cast a spell, but to send a magical image of her current life, her simple cottage, the thriving badger cub, and her hand clasped with Pharaoh's directly to the Grimory. Chapter 7, for Glinda. Glinda is standing before the council, about to concede her authority when the image fills the room. It's a silent, gentle projection that only she can truly understand. It's a portrait of contentment, and true freedom. She sees that Elphaba is happy, safe, and truly goodness that doesn't need to be advertised or sanctioned by the state. Glinda's spine strains. She understands that the key to ruling Oz is not in the Grimory's power of the wizard. It's not in the Grimory's power or the wizard's lies, but in living her truth, however imperfect. She turns to the clerk with brilliant smile, announces, "I have consulted the Grimory. It tells me that the wicked witch's reign is truly over, but it also tells me that the foundation of the Emerald City must be built not on forgotten friends, but on unconditional truth." The epilogue here. The Emerald's legacy. Glinda does not reveal that Elphaba is alive, but she uses her newfound certainty to dismantle the compromise. She begins to govern with honesty, slowly rolling back the lies, starring with a powerful public acknowledgement of the inherent rights of all sentient beings. She never sees Elphaba again, but she knows she's out there, and that knowledge is the true power of the Grimory's legacy. Found towards as Glinda turns away from the Grimory, the final page of the book seals itself shut. The inscription changes one last time. The greatest magic is not defying gravity, but staying a memory. Glinda, the Good Witch of the North, finally sheds the pretense and begins to truly rule. So that is the Grimory version. Okay, that's the Grimory version. You're certainly down that rabbit hole. Listen, this is all in good fun. You know what I mean? I don't know if a Wicked 3 is going to happen. I will say this. I think out of both of these two, I think I like the Emerald Scar more, because we get to really see the magnitude of the scars of right. And that's what I'm saying. Like the Grimoire completes it, but I feel like also the Emerald Scar completes it too. But they complete it in two different ways. I feel like the Grimoire, seals the fate of like Glinda finally gets her wish, and Elphaba gets her wish. But in the Emerald Scar, how that completes the trilogy is that both scars are healed, and Elphaba gets a new second chance, which should have been her main chance to be the hero that she always was. Remember the question that Glinda asked, are people born wicked or is wickedness thrusted upon them? I think the Emerald Scar answers that question. While I think the Grimoire showcases the overall magnitude of owning your own chapter. Right? Come on. Now listen, I'm going to applaud myself here for this great work along with Google. So which one are you liking more? Are you liking the Emerald Scar or are you liking the Grimoire Legacy? Let me know in the live chat. And Glinda has peace knowing Elphaba is alive secretly. Yes. So which one are you liking, my friend? I think both of them are good. I think that, I think the Emerald Scar will probably be the one that would be produced because it really is the duality. And you get to see both scars, being worked through in real time. But I think the Grimoire brings the book that has been in chapter 1 and chapter 2 as the final chapter, to use that metaphor. So let me know what y'all are thinking in the live chat. Make it to the part. Wait a minute. So are we saying that make the Emerald Scar Part 3 and then the Grimoire Wicked 4? Is that what we're saying? Oh my God. Oh my God. So, okay, let me see. So we make the Emerald Scar. If we make the Emerald Scar Part 3, that's them working through, that's working through both scars of Glinda scars and Elphaba scars. And then the Guillory is the final chapter for the last time, right? So you work through the scars, and then Elphaba in chapter 3 finally becomes the hero, but then Glinda still has to struggle in chapter 4. Okay, I see it. John Chu pay us. Listen, it would be crazy if this got out to John M. Chu. If John M. Chu was like, Wicked 3 and Part 4, you say? Well, I was going to end it at Part 2, at Part 2, but I like the fact that we can make 2 more movies that make sense together. Okay. With that being said, let's take a little bit of a break because here's some more news in case you did not know about this. Wicked for Good takes flight with huge $68.6 million opening day, soaring to the second biggest debut in 2025 from Variety.com. Right here. So Wicked still knows about popular Universal's musical sequel for Good swept up a spectacular $68.6 million across Friday preview screens from 4,115 locations in North America. That puts it on pace for a $151.5 million opening weekend for Sunday. It'll be the biggest bow ever for a Broadway adaptation and the second biggest ever for a Universal release, only behind Jurassic World. It's also well ahead of the $112 million haul that the first Wicked debuted to in the same pre-Thanksgiving frame last year. If the Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande projections hit current film projections, it will rank among the biggest openings of the year, currently led by Minecraft movie $162 million and the Lilo & Stitch remake at $146 million. Okay, so listen, there are reasons for this. Okay, there are reasons for this. Also, too, in case you guys did not know, more Oz. Wicked for Good team explores a new project, not a sequel, but an adjunct. So Steven Schwartz reveals that he and Winnie Holzman are developing another idea, right? So this is the news here. So right here, there are no sequels in the Land of Oz, but that doesn't mean the Yellow Brick Road has each to run for Wicked music and lyrics director and music producer, the indomitable Steven Schwartz. If there were the right idea, but I'm not sure that the right idea exists, Schwartz 77 told me this week following the New York premiere of Wicked for Good, when I try to get behind the current on the musical's big screen future. What I will tell you without giving away too much is that Wendy Holzman, the original Wicked book writer in the film's co-writer, co-screenwriter, are doing some work right now, some ideas that aren't a sequel to Wicked, because I think Glinda Elphabet's story feels complete, but there are other aspects that could be explored. Gregory McGuire, the original Wicked novelist, has several books, for example. There's an idea that we are discussing, not a sequel, but an adjunct. Let me put it that way. If someone could think of a continuation of the story that seems to have justification beyond simply making money, of course, Steven Schwartz. As of right now, no one has presented an idea that I've heard that would justify such a thing. Well, Steven, we're talking right now. You know, I mean, that's what we're doing. We're just talking right now. Your Scar and Grimly will be like Frozen 3 and 4. Promise Universal Park Portal or Land. You know, I have ideas on that. I do. I played around with AI last night. Yes. And I do believe there's a way for it to come to Epic Universe. Should I do that live like a little bit later on? Like at 3 o'clock or so? Or should we do that on Monday? Because I have energy. Okay? I have energy for this thing. But yes, indeed. So we're just talking Steven Schwartz. I think that, you know, what we're doing right now is actually expanding the movie franchise. And here's how we're doing it, right? Parts 1 and Part 2 were the Broadway play, but Parts 3 and Part 4 would be its own movies based on the adaptation. So the adaptation determines the ending of the movie franchise, right? So 2 movies off of the musical, and then 2 movies based on the movie form of Wicked. This is what we do over here, okay? This is what we do over here. Like I said, I really, really do love what we do over here for sure. So, oh man. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Okay, so with that being said, let's get to the Chat GPT version of this. Okay, let's get to that. Here is this here. So I asked Chat GPT, picking up from the ending of Wicked for Good, create Wicked 3. So here it is. Here is a full cinematic Wicked 3 concept that picks up directly from the ending of Wicked for Good, continuing the story, expanding Oz, and giving the franchise a blockbuster final chapter. Wicked 3, The Green Reckoning, okay? Isn't it fascinating that Frozen creation has ties from Wicked, and Frozen 2 was more serious and sad than Frozen 1. Songs in Wicked and Frozen 1 was like Wicked 1. Yes, but here's the thing, though. Can we talk? For Good is a better song than Let It Go. Okay? I said it. Wicked is a stronger franchise than Frozen. I said it. Disney, I don't know why you put that much money behind something like that. Seriously. Okay. Now, I know it has the wickedly talented Adele Mazine. Okay, I know it, and I know her name is Idina Menzel. I'm playing it off of John Travolta's intro. But still, very, very good comparisons, you know. We accept all opinions over here. That was such a bad save, Braylon. That was such a bad save. But and let me tell you something. 410 is always the observant one. So very well said. Sir. Very well said. All right, y'all. So here we go. Wicked 3, The Green Reckoning, a feature-length epic including the Wicked trilogy. Logline: after faking her death and escaping Oz, Elphaba is forced to return when a new authoritarian ruler rises and the power vacuum left behind. With Glinda fighting to rebuild a fractured Oz, both women must reunite and face a darker truth behind the wizard's empire and the origin of Elphaba's magic itself. Act 1, The Return to Oz, opening sequence, A World Without Her. The film opens with a montage showing Oz a few months after Elphaba's death. Glinda, now the sole leader, begins dismantling the wizard's propaganda machine. Citizens mourn, learn, healed by a dangerous faction. The pureblood orb believes Oz must return to strict rule. Elphaba and Pharaoh and hiding. Elphaba and Pharaoh, still in scarecrow form but slowly regaining humanity, live on a remote valley beyond the desert. Elphaba is haunted by visions of Oz in flames. Pharaoh encourages her to let Glinda leave, but Elphaba feels her powers growing uncontrollably, shrieks of magic she can't explain. A new threat emerges. A mysterious woman named Lady Karina, a charismatic spiritual leader, seizes control of the Emerald City's military. Karina claims that she's the true heir to Oz's throne. She blames the unrest on the hidden witches who still live at corrupt Oz. She secretly captures talking animals. Once freed by Glinda, Glinda tries diplomacy, but the order is growing fast. You know what? Because you are my friend, I will let you have that opinion. Like you can, like you actually can let your friend act. Like I'm giving you permission to have an opinion, but Florentine, yes, I will say both of them culturally, they are very high impact. They are very high impact on the culture side. Yet they did make a song for Anna and Elsa for good, since that will happen in Frozen 3 and 4. Do we really need a Frozen 3 and 4? Like I think we're good. I don't think anybody's asking for that personally. No. We need the parks to be where they need to be before we start making anything new. Just saying, just my opinion is by the success of my friend. And I'm with you. I am with you fully, friend. I am. So in chapter 1 here, I love the fact that it's just a few months. So it's not like 5 years after we're literally back in the world as it is. And there is a new entity forming in the months after Elphaba's death. So this is Green Reckoning. So this movie is dealing with the full aftermath of Elphaba. Because that's the thing. Like, that Elphaba and Pharaoh, they live and they are together in the end. But what does that look like? What does that reckoning look like after her death in Oz? And what does that reckoning look like for Elphaba rising up into a new chapter? Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. So Act 2, The Truth of Elphaba's Magic. The summoning. Glinda finds sends an undercover message via old Nessa's spellbook. The pages magically write themselves to find Elphaba. The message: Oz needs you. She rises. Elphaba realizes she must go back. Glinda and Elphaba reunite. Their reunion is emotional, awkward, and powerful. Glinda, you're supposed to live free. Elphaba, I was never free, not while Oz is still suffering. They argue, cry, ultimately embrace, recognize their bond is only strong enough to save Oz now. The secret of the Emerald City. Glinda brings Elphaba to a hidden chamber beneath the wizard's old throne. There they uncover the wizard did not create the Emerald City's magic. He siphoned it from a primal ancient source known as the Well of Verdance, a wild magic that chose Elphaba at birth. Lady Karina is trying to tap into this well to gain absolute power. Elphaba's magic surges because the well is awakening, calling her home. So there is something new in the world of Wicked that we didn't even know. The best song in Frozen to me is The First Time in Forever. For Frozen 2, I picked the next best thing. They're both Anna songs. And listen, for what Frozen is, that was, I'll put it like this. What The Lion King was for the 90s Disney kids is what Frozen is to today's generation. I will at least give it that. Okay, we're not going to say 10 nice things about Frozen. I'm not doing. I'll give credit where credit is due. I will. So yes, indeed. But I will say, the music in Frozen is very beloved. I will say that. Shout out to the 10 people that were here, 9 people now, 5 people. I see y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And by the way, I do like this, that there is a secret within the secret city. So this Well of Verdance, now we have a new lore that we have to dig into, right? And that could be a TV series behind the Well of Verdance, a 13-episode series where we learn the magic behind that, right? So the possibilities are endless here. At 3, the battle for Oz, rebellion versus the Order. The Pure Blood Order holds the Emerald City hostage, forcing animals into servitude again. Glinda leads the resistance while Elphaba fronts her destiny. The final duel, Elphaba versus Karina. At the Well of the Verdance, deep beneath the Emerald City, Karina attempts a ritual to absorb its power. Elphaba arrives at green energy floods the chamber. Karina reveals that she was once the wizard's apprentice, cast aside when the well chose Elphaba. Instead, a magical bow erupts, emerald flames, levitating debris, spell clashes echoing like thunder. Elphaba finally realizes her power was never a curse; it was an inheritance. The choice, the well asks Elphaba, if I give my full power, will you use it to rule or to free? Elphaba refuses both. She chooses balance, return the well's magic to Oz itself, not a single ruler. The well erupts, cleansing Karina's corruption, restoring magic across the land. So Elphaba gets to be that hero that she's always wanted to be, right? So there is that there. And then the epilogue, the 2 good witches, Oz Reborn. The talking animals regain their rights. The Emerald City is rebuilt with shared leadership. Pharaoh fully returns to human form. Glinda's final act. Glinda gives a speech dissolving the crown. Oz would now be governed by a council of animals, munchkins, winkies, squadlings, and guineas. All represent Elphaba's legacy. Elphaba leads again, not to hide, but to explore the world beyond Oz, carrying magic where it's needed. Glinda says, "Will I ever see you again?" Elphaba says, "You will feel me at every kindness. That's all the city we need." They exchange one final grateful smile. Final shot, Elphaba flies off into a shimmering horizon, the clouds. Her shadow on the clouds creating an outline of the Wicked Witch, but this time the audience understands the full truth. Huh? Come on now, the Green Reckoning. To see Elphaba in her final full form become the hero that she's always wanted to be. And, when you hear of Reckoning, you think, oh my God, like a Reckoning is bad. But now it's like, okay, that battle was the battle that has always been brewing. This is a battle that could determine the fate of Oz in totality. Now, you can either be the person that you believe that you are, or you can be in peace. And that determines the reckoning. So there is that there, right? So how cool is that? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, man. I am loving this conversation with y'all this morning. So good. So good. So good. So good. Let me see here. So here is this here from the Mirror UK. Right here. So part 3 is on the way after spotting some Easter eggs. So let's look at those here. Give me a moment. Count on technology can technologize. Come on. If it does stop, if StreamYard cuts out, I will be back. Don't worry about that, okay? Okay, there we go. All right, wait 1 minute. Oh, come on now. There we go. Okay, see how technology want to work for Alan? Don't make no damn sense. All right, let me zoom out. All right, here we go. So here are some Easter eggs here. So Elphaba finds love with Figaro, who has transformed into the Scarecrow, discovered by Dorothy. Meanwhile, Glinda is led to believe that both Elphaba and Figaro have perished. As she grieves for them, the pair secretly flee and find happiness together away from Oz, free from the judgment that once plagued them. So, witnessing their corruption firsthand, particularly their role in trapping, silencing the animals of Oz, Glinda plays a crucial role of exposing and overthrowing them. By liberating the animals and Morble's manipulation, Glinda ascends to power, and Glinda confronts the reality of Mount Morble. So, she eventually becomes the ruler of Oz, adored by its inhabitants, which is portrayed as her ultimate ambition from the start. Whether this makes her a hero or a complex friend is left to the artist's interpretation. However, the film's final moments contain several subtle hints that have fans speculating about the possibility of a third installment under the direction of John M. Chu. A crucial clue emerges when Elphaba and Figaro make plans to flee Oz forever. Elphaba tells Figaro, "I wish Glinda could know we're alive, but she can't. No one can ever know." This line has immediately triggered theories that their vanishing act might eventually be exposed, paving the way for a future confrontation or reconciliation. A further hint announces when Glinda announces to the citizens of Oz that the Wicked Witch was dead. However, when she subconsciously uses the Grimoire of the Spell Book, it provides her with a delicate suggestion that her closest friend might still be living. This element also creates the room for the prospect of an additional installment. So right here, one commented, so these are the people on social media, one commented, I feel like not doing it just make everything feel incomplete in a way, or at best would leave part 2 incredibly bittersweet than it already is. Another remark, there needs to be a part 3. Glinda eventually finding out that Figaro and Elphaba is still alive. Elphaba find out that Madame Morble killed Nessa Rose may be a heroic sacrifice on Elphaba or Glinda's end. That's right, because Elphaba doesn't know that. Others reference the additional novels in Gertrude Meyer's collection. It doesn't end after For Good. There's Son of a Witch and other books. I see it happening if the movie does as good as I expect. One enthusiast posted. Another fan suggested continuing the saga. So you should continue it as series goes. Son of a Witch, then Line Among Men for Elfie prequel, and then Alf Oz to finish it off. And I do believe that Elphaba, hang on, let me type this in. So here it is here. Elphaba has a son named Lear, who is the main character in the sequel, Son of a Witch, believed to be the son of Figaro, though Elphaba was unconscious during his birth and unsure of his paternity at first. Elphaba also has a granddaughter named Rain, the daughter of Lear, who also has a similar screen appearance to her grandmother. So there is that there. But because this is the movie adaptation, right, maybe there also could be a daughter as well, because you guys remember, Ariel in The Little Mermaid, Ariel also has a daughter. So I think it would only make sense for the movie adaptation if they also, had a daughter as well. So maybe the daughter can, be in part 3, and then Son of a Witch could continue that, where it's like, oh, Elphaba also has a son as well as a daughter. So that's just me adding my take to the timeline. Okay, so just want to throw that in there. Right here, someone else even pitched a separate reimagining. If anything, they should remake The Wizard of Oz with the original songs with Ariana Grande, who plays Glinda, and Cynthia Erivo, who plays the Wicked Witch of the West. Ooh, okay then, interesting. While Final Fan wrote, so we're all in agreement that there's going to be a Wicked Part 3, right? Well, nothing's official. Nothing's official. Nothing is official. And here it is here from comicbookmovie.com. Right here. Began on Monday. The preview screenings that began on Monday, it has earned $30.8 million for preview screens. Those began on Monday, have been a Fantastic Four. First step, $24.4 million haul for the biggest overall previews for any 2025 release, with $18.2 million from Thursday alone, $6.1 million from Monday's Amazon Prime screenings, and an additional $6.5 million from Wednesday previews. Wicked for Good is now on track for a 3-day opening of $125 to $150 million. So this is making money. Okay, that's basically the big kahuna there. And so right here, last year, Wicked went on to gross $758.6 million worldwide. The second half of the story is expected to end up in the same ballpark, if not higher. Rotten Tomatoes, the movie got 70% score from critics and 97% on the fan-generated popcorn meter. So does this mean Wicked 3 is guaranteed the second movie conclusive musical story, but there's room to expand on the property inspired by The Wizard of Oz? And then, of course, the quote we already talked about this here. I would be honored if anyone asked me to be a part of Wicked 3. I think there are such beloved characters that seeing where they end up. I mean, to me, the moment where Elphaba says that voiceover, I know she can never know we're alive. I was like, somebody feels like they're asking to find out if they're alive at some point. That really feels like, hello, that's spicy me. I love the idea that we can meet up with them again someday. So there is that. All right, let's get back to this here, because there's also one more version of Wicked 3 from ChatGPT. There's just one more. Okay, so here we go. And you know what's crazy? Look at this. Look at this. Isn't it interesting that in the Google Gemini and ChatGPT, they both use the Grimoire and they both used the Emerald Scar for, Elphaba, and the Green Reckoning for Elphaba. So maybe ChatGPT and Google Gemini are like, okay, this is where it could be going, right? So, of course, nothing in this live is official, okay? I just want y'all to know nothing in this live is official, okay? There's no official word that there is a Wicked 3, okay? So none of this is official. I just want to say that. So now, it would be a huge honor if other YouTubers would review this live and talk about what they believe of the pitches that we talked about here, and then give their take. That would be amazing. But if Universal, Pictures, if they do pick this up, I would be honored but also terrified. Because it's like, okay, are y'all picking up the fact that this could be Wicked 3? Y'all are taking this down, you know what I mean? Because it's canon. So yes, indeed. Okay, y'all, I'm frozen. Give me a moment. Because it looks like I'm asleep right now. Okay, we back. Hang on. Hello, Jim John 15. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. What if Bam Mobile's position in Wicked for Good? She was now university principal. She was a university principal to now secretary of Oz. I thought she replaced the Wizard. They will not admit they're working on part 3. Oh, I know. Jim JME John 15. Welcome in. With mine, they'll use the Chronos. I'm kidding. Ruby Dorton, welcome in. What do you mean by Oh, you're saying hi. Okay, welcome in. Glad to have you here. When you were saying do you mean like this could be possible? What do you mean by that? Yes, indeed. There. If they take this down, that's confirmation. Right, that's what I'm saying. So listen, none of this is official. Okay, none of this is official. Okay, none of it. As you can see, hang on, it's coming up. Wait for it. Allegedly, in my opinion, and it's for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so listen, we were covered by the Fair Use Act freedom of speech, all that stuff. Okay, let's roll on. Here is Wicked 3, The Grimmery Awakens. Okay. Here is a full Wicked 3 concept that picks directly up from the final beats of Wicked for Good. Sing expand the universe while honoring original tone, themes, and character arcs. A new musical / story concept. Tone, epic, emotional, dark fantasy with redemption, legacy, and destiny at its heart. Core themes: truth versus myth, power versus responsibility, chosen legacy, the cost of freedom, and the healing of Oz. So here we go. Act 1. Opening number, The Truth That Remains. Glinda, now the official ruler of Oz, stands on the balcony of the Emerald Palace. Rumors swirl about Elphaba's fate. Citizens demand answers. Glinda sings about truth, guilt, and burden, while the chorus whispers and speculates about refrain. But the truth that remains is more than they see. Seeing Elphaba and Pharaoh in exile, we cut to the great outside, the wild lands beyond Oz's borders. And by the way, in all these movies, for the first time ever, Oz's borders will finally be seen on the big screen. Because even in The Wizard of Oz, the original film that kicked off all this, all we know is Oz. We don't know what else is outside the world of Oz. So I want everybody to keep that in mind as well. We cut to the outside, the gray outside, the wild lands beyond Oz's borders. Elphaba and Pharaoh, now human, trek into an unfamiliar world. They dream of quiet life, but Elphaba keeps sensing something that's calling her the Grimmery. Subplot revealed: the Grimmery activates. The glowing book glows in Glinda's hands. A new spell reveals itself, only one that Glinda can see. A message slowly writes itself across the page. Oz is not healed, and beneath it, a new witch rises. New antagonist, the Witch of the Eastern Wind. A mysterious new figure begins to gather influence. Sierra, a young sorceress born of the winds. She claims that Elphaba abandoned Oz, as she alone can set things right. Her magic resembles Elphaba. Green tinge, unpredictable, powerful. Oz begins to believe that she is the true successor to the Wicked Witch. Resembles Elphaba. So, could this be, right? Let's think about this. Maybe Elphaba, because remember how I said she could have a daughter? Maybe Elphaba, right? Has a child, gives it up, and Sierra is a sorceress born of the winds, right? Or, Elphaba's pregnant, but in the World of Oz is not the traditional way of birth. So, Elphaba's daughter is born out the winds, and she claims Elphaba abandoned Oz, but little does she know that Elphaba is her mom. That could be a whole nother thing, okay? But anyway, her magic resembles Elphaba, green tinged, unpredictable, powerful. Oz begins to believe that she is the true successor to the Wicked Witch. A storm without a name, Sierra expresses her frustration with being unseen, dismissed, and underestimated. Kind of like her mom? Maybe her mom. We don't know. Or this could be just a completely different person. No relation to her. Until the winds themselves respond to her, she vows to become the witch Oz deserves. Glinda's investigation. Glinda begins uncovering truths buried by the wizard, Madame Marble, political corruption, illegal magical experiments, and impending magical imbalance. The Grimmery begins turning pages on its own, guiding her. The end of Act 1 reveal. Using the Grimmery, Glinda accidentally opens a vision portal and sees Elphaba alive. Her gasp ends the act. So that is the end of Act 1, right? John Chu is not in the... You stop that right now. Eastern Wind, what about from the South? Fullerton, I feel like that could be a spinoff, good sir. The Good Witch of the South and the Bad Witch of the South. Yes. Or maybe cameos in Wicked 3 and Wicked 4 potentially. But let's roll on. Yes, indeed. So here we go with Act 2. Opening the world beyond Elphaba and Pharaoh, the couple began settling in a small border village. They debate whether to start a new life or confront the past. Elphaba's fears returning, but fears abandoning Oz even more. Glinda makes a choice after the shock of learning Elphaba's alive. Glinda decides to find her. She travels under the skies guided by the Grimoire. She encounters Sierra along the way, now gaining popularity and followers. Sierra, Oz doesn't need the Wicked Witch or the Good One. Ooh, spicy! My lord. Ooh, Sierra's got some bite to her. My lord, that's something right there, isn't it? Yes, it is. So more than good, Glinda. A reflective solo in which Glinda reevaluates her identity beyond goodness. She decides her legacy will be truth, not perfection. So then we get a reunion of Glinda, Elphaba, and Pharaoh after intense standoff. Glinda thinking Elphaba abandoned Oz. Elphaba believing Glinda does not want her anymore. They reconcile, fall in a tearful embrace. New trio song for all of us, a spiritual successor to For Good. Not about two people shaping each other, but about three choosing to heal Oz together. So it's a spiritual successor to For Good, but it doesn't eliminate For Good. I feel like For Good would be Elphaba, Glinda's connection, and then Pharaoh is, a part of this, right? So they're a part of this new dynamic. So there is that. So Sierra storms the Emerald Palace, claiming she will finish what the Wicked Witch began. She twists the truth. Wickedness is just strength set free. The people, afraid, desperate, began listening. Her true goal emerges, absorbing the raw magic of Oz itself. The final battle of magical storm engulfs Oz. Glinda, Elphaba, and Pharaoh return to confront Sierra. Elphaba tries compassion, first sees herself in the young witch, angry, alone, misunderstood. Maybe that's because it's her daughter! Or not. But Sierra refuses, unleashing a spell capable of tearing Oz apart. Trio spell song Stay the Storm, Elphaba, Chaos, Glinda, or Sierra Wild Power. Cast overlapping spells. Sierra, overwhelmed by her own magic, collapses. Elphaba saves her, refusing to repeat the cycle of exile and punishment that created her. Resolution, Sierra redeems. Sierra becomes Glinda's apprentice, humbled and determined to learn control. Elphaba's redemption, the truth about her death and the wizard's lives are all revealed to Oz. Statues and propaganda are removed. And maybe new statues. And maybe a museum to Elphaba is created. And maybe Elphaba, has an office in Oz. Maybe this redemption really can live in its full form. Her legacy is rewritten. Elphaba's choice, though, I just said could happen, but this is Elphaba's choice. Elphaba decides not to return to public life. She and Pharaoh leave again, this time with Glinda's blessing to build a life where they can be free. Final scene. Glinda's closing speech. Glinda addresses Oz. Goodness isn't about who shines the brightest, but who brings light to others. Elphaba, Pharaoh's song, Into the Green. The couple rise off into the free world, hopeful and healed. Ooh, please not. I lost a part of me. He didn't know to believe. Me and Oz belongs together. I don't want a lot from Oz. There's just one thing I need. I don't care about Glinda or the Wicked Witch. I just want Oz for my own, more than you can ever know. My wish will come true. I will overtake Oz. Come on. Listen, I know I'm not a singer, but that was rewritten live on the fly. So very quickly here. Just one more. I'm gonna call my phone now because we done the whole show for over an hour. Yes, we have. So, out of those two from ChatGPT, which one do you like? Do you like the Green Reckoning, or do you like the Grimoire Awakens? Mm. Oh my lord! This is why I love having fun with y'all. Like I said, all of this is speculation. Do not know if Wicked 3 is going to happen. I just thought it would be quite fun to just see what the people would think. And listen, if John True was in the chat, that would be crazy. Okay, listen, I believe John True has bigger fish to fry than to watch YouTube. But then again, media companies do watch social media to see what people have to say about things. So you never know. He could be watching in the cut. You know what I mean? Might be taking some notes, But anyway, oh my God. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Man. You know what? Honestly, tell you the truth, I'm like this, right? I feel like I like the Emerald Scar and the Green Reckoning the most because it's more character driven. But the Grimmery brings in a character that we've never seen utilized before. So that's how I see it. So maybe we should do a Wicked 3 and 4 with one of either the Emerald Scar or the Green Reckoning, and then Wicked 4 is the Grimmery, right? And then after that, all the other movies can go after that. Because like I said, 2 movies are based on the adaptation of the musical, and then 2 movies are based off of the world of the movie. So there is that. So yes, indeed. This is a good time. I love this. This is a good time. This is a good time. This is a good time. So. By the way, do y'all like the thumbnail I did? Do y'all like the thumbnail I did? That was cool, right? To see that pink and green lettering. So that was cool. Thank you, good sir. Listen, I feel like any of these movies could be made, honestly. The way that we talked about it this morning, I feel like any of these could be made, sincerely. And you remember how Steven Schwartz said that I don't see how it could be done, right? And I want to give it up to the writer, who her name is... because I want to give credit where credit is due. Let's see here. So Dana Fox, I want to give up to Dana Fox, who co-wrote the script for Wicked for Good with the original writer of the original show, Wendy Holzman, that pointed out that line that is, and I quote, "I know that she can never know that we're alive." Shout out to Dana Fox for recognizing that line. And who knows, maybe because of that line of Wicked 3 could happen. You know what I mean? He's an amazing songwriter. Any more writings from him is a gift. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, with that being said, we're just here chillaxing. Glad to have you here. We talked about Wicked 3 and how it could return. We went through the worlds of ChatGPT and Google Gemini. And I have to say, around here, we utilize AI as a resource, not the source. But I think AI did its job on this one. I really, really do. I think that they gave us, 4 different choices of movies that all are strong. Like there was not one weak film that I read. Not one. So I think any one of them could be made. It could be Wicked Part 3 and Part 4, like Florentine said, because he was like, both, I say, both. We can make songs for 3 and 4. It can be done. And not to mention, too, Parts 1 and 2 were both filmed at the same time, right? So imagine if they could do that one more time mentally to create, a 4-part movie franchise. That would be amazing. But if they decide to do just one more, then they would have to make sure that that is the final movie. They could not leave any clues in Wicked 3 for Wicked 4, right? So yes, indeed. So yeah, we're just chilling. Oh man, this was good. I feel like the shorts for this weren't gonna go viral because there really hasn't been any Wicked talk for Wicked 3 as of yet. Like I've seen like videos and stuff, and I watched some of them just kind of get a feel for it, but I don't think anybody has done this deep dive of like, okay, what would it actually be like yet? So, you know. And hey, who knows, with the world of Wicked, you just never know, right? One of these shorts could, you know, be a viral short. And do you know how crazy it would be if it was a viral short and then everybody on YouTube start talking about, you know, Wicked 3 because of this live? You know what I mean? So that would be cool. And imagine if it got up to Cynthia Erivo or Ariana Grande or John M. Chu or Universal Pictures. They'll be like, who is this Braylon Lee? Where does he live? And you're just going to have a nice, long adult conversation with him. Basically saying, hey, can you come here for a second? So, one of those movies is true. 3 of them are not. And they would not tell me which one is true and which one would not be true. So, but yes, indeed. So yeah, I just wanted to have some fun with y'all. I'll probably stay here until like maybe 1 hour and 25 minutes. And then yeah, we'll head on out. So, like I said, I may have more lives for y'all today. We'll see on that. I do want to also talk about how, you know, Wicked could come, you know, to the Epic Universe. And yeah. I feel like that's a conversation that needs to be had. So we'll have that conversation here soon enough. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. So we'll see. But the conversation will be had nonetheless. 6 people in the building. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. All I want from Shiz now is you, Mariah Winks. Oh my Lord Jesus, that's hilarious. Hilarious. Yes, indeed. Oh my God. So Florian, do you feel like this live really could actually like make an impact? Like I feel like all 4 movies that we talked about today, and to the rest of you as well, feel free to type in the live chat what you're thinking as well. I feel like all of these movies could actually happen. Like, and that's the thing, like when I typed in to Google Gemini and ChatGPT, I did not really give it a direction. I just said, okay, picking up from the end of Wicked for Good. And then for the other one, I put in that specific detail of the ending, then create Wicked 3. I didn't tell it, you know, what characters to have in it. I didn't say, you know, where it should go. I didn't say what songs. I just said create, and it did what it needed to do. And I think AI did its thing on this one. See, that's how you utilize AI as a resource, not the source, right? And I think too, AI, if it's utilized correctly, can be used as a great tool for conversation, which is what we do over here at BFP Imagineering. We utilize AI as a resource to be able to have productive conversations about the theme park industry. It's a great coupling of human ingenuity and technology, right? Humanity and technology combined, or hacked humanity and technology. So yes, indeed. If it could, even the film never happens, maybe a tiny component of it can be used. Oh, absolutely, for sure. So yes, indeed. Ugh, good. And by the way, I put in the hashtag Wicked3, hashtag Wicked3, so that way people can, look it up on YouTube. So yes, indeed. So it should be a good time. Can't wait to see what all the reactions are going to be. Because I do think that this live really will create conversation, because you have, for the first time ever on YouTube, concrete concrete resolutions on, what would be in the film, what the storylines would be. You know what I mean? And I feel like this, if we took one of the Elphaba stories and the Grimmery, I feel like Wicked 3 and 4 would make sense. But after that, that's it. We don't need a Wicked 5. We do not need a Wicked 5. I feel like Wicked 3 and 4 is probably the maximum. 4 would be the max. 3 would be good enough. You know what I mean? We don't need a 5th one, because I'm like, okay, after, Elphaba, gets her hero redemption fully, after the Grimmery has been used, there's nothing else. Like what? Like we don't need a 5th movie. Yes, thank you, my friend. I hope it's a great discussion starter. And now it's up to the universe of social media and everybody in between to give their take on what they think of this. And so Wicked 3 and 4 I think will be good enough. I feel like Wicked 3 should be about Elphaba's redemption, and the Wicked 4 should be about the Grimmery. And then after that, it's done. It's done. It's done. And for those of you going to say, well, Wicked 5, could be about, Elphaba's daughter. It's like, well, that's what Son of a Witch is for. And if Elphaba's daughter was going to come up, it would be in Wicked 3, which would then, lean into Wicked 4. That, Dar is born in Wicked 3, Wicked 4. The son of Pharaoh and Elphaba is born, and then son of a witch, right? And then maybe daughter of a witch could be a brand new book written, right? So that's the way that Wicked 5 would happen if it was the next generation, but a whole Wicked 5 movie now. Universal, I know Universal Pictures is like, Braylon, come on, we just did Wicked 2. We just did Wicked for good. Stop this fandom discussion right fucking now. Stop it, stop it, stop it. If you don't think executives don't talk like that, you must be out your ever-loving mind. Now, a refined, executive be like, that's a very nice discussion. Yes, that's quite interesting. We see where you're going with that. Yes. Yes. You hear about someone else doing the Wicked. You hear about somebody else doing the Wizard of Oz, like the African American way. I don't know of the Wiz. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I think that's the great thing about this. There's been so many interpretations of it, and there are people that love the Wiz. You know what I mean? And that interpretation of it. So, and the Wiz is just as much a part of the Oz universe as is the original, right? So, I think Wicked has taken the world of the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion and the Scarecrow to a whole nother level. I really do. By the way, I saw the 14 people that were here. Shout out to y'all. I saw y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate y'all very, very much. So yes, indeed. So all good stuff there. And like I said, I may today do an Epic Universe, live about, how Wicked could be an Epic Universe, because I know that's the next conversation. I know it is. So, plus I have a bonus way for Wicked to be an Epic Universe in a way that ain't nobody thinking about. Oh man, and listen, I cannot tell you now. You're gonna have to wait until that live. Okay, so what I'll probably do is tell you about, of course, the Wicked Land. Okay, first, and then I will tell you the other way that Wicked could be um in Epic Universe. But it's gonna surprise you. How I do it. It's going to very much surprise you about how I do it. So yes, indeed. I may do that today around like 4 o'clock or so, maybe. We'll see. I keep saying 2, but I don't know. I'm thinking between 2 or 4 o'clock, but you will know by the thumbnail. So. Well, if Wicked dominate like Harry Potter did, Universal won't be bothered by Wicked 5 and 6. I know that they wouldn't be bothered by it, but I think the fans would. Because it's just like, okay, what else? What else at this point? Like, listen, Oz is saved. Elphaba's a whole hero now. Like, the Grimmery, we saw the Grimmery in fullest form. Like, we're good. Like, we don't need a 5 and 6. But, like, of course, you also wouldn't mind because, hell, it's a huge property for them. But I think the fans would be pissed off at that point because now it's diluting the magic of Wicked, I think, if they did that. So. I feel you, my friend. I do. So yeah, we're just chilling out here for just a little bit longer. And then after that, we'll probably get out here probably at maybe 1:35 or so. We'll see. Because I definitely want this show to be clipped for sure because I definitely have a feeling that that what we talked about today is definitely going to trend for sure. I have a very good feeling for sure. So. 7 people in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you so much. Oh, was Wicked for good what you expected, or do you wish it had the punch Wicked one had without spoilers? I think that Wicked for good definitely had a punch to it, just in a different way. I do. I think that, and for those of you who don't know Wicked for good, because people were like, well, why can't they come up with a better title? It's like, well, Wicked for Good is based off of the song For Good. But I feel like it has a double meaning. And I will just say this. I feel like the punch that was in Wicked for Good was more about the women, about the 2 women growing up, right? Because, in Wicked, it was about the young ladies at Street University and their memories, right? And with For Good, we get to see these women in very grown circumstances. So I think it did have a punch. Maybe not the punch of the spectacle, the wonder, the amazingness of the first one, but I think the punch of emotionality, depth of the weight of your consequences, but most of all, the punch of can you really do something for good, or what you're trying to do for good, can it be for good, or will it be interpreted for evil? Even if it's not evil, can you be the decider of your own fate? So for me, the good was coming out after such wickedness happening around the end. Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what the movie is supposed to be about. I think if you go into Wicked for Good with the expectation of, the first look, you're going to be sadly disappointed. So yes, indeed. So yeah, I hope that answers the question, my friend. Shout out to some people here. Thank you so much. And like I said, I really try my very best to utilize my media perspective to have mature conversations, because I really think that media is a great industry. I think the reason why people don't really get into the industry is because they feel like there's a disconnect. I try my best to bring a purposeful understanding to the industry. Yes, I've seen the movie Ellis Regato. Yes, I have. Even though Elphaba was never wicked behaving. No, she was never wicked behaving. It was just wicked to other people because they didn't want to understand her. So because they didn't want to understand her, they just labeled her wicked. Going back to the question that Glenda asked, are people born wicked, or is wickedness thrusted upon them? You know what I mean? Jen Akbar, I think you should go back now. Welcome in, Jen. Glad to have you here. I think you should go back and replay this video, replay this live, and just listen to what we talked about here. And you might be surprised at what we talked about here today. And like I said, this is all in good fun. You know, I mean, this is all in good fun. Ellis Regato, what do you mean by the question marks? I have seen the movie, yes. Braylon Lee has seen the movie, yes. So. And you know what? I will just do this for Jen, just to show. I'm not going to show everything because you got to go back and watch it, but I'll just show the titles. So there's that one. Okay, there's that one. And then I'll go back to this one here, the Grimoire Legacy. So there's the Grimoire Awakens, the Grimoire Legacy. And then you have this one here, the Green Reckoning. And then you have the Emerald Scar. So I'm not going to go back over everything because, we already, talked about it this morning. But I would say go back and watch it. I would say go back and watch it. Wait a minute, Griffin girl. Wait a minute. Hang on a second now. Hang on. We're just having fun here. We know it's the epic conclusion. But we also around here, we follow where Hollywood is going. We follow where the fandom is talking. We follow not only where Hollywood is going, but we also follow what the fandom is talking about. And the fandom has been saying maybe there might be a Wicked 3. And because we like to bring facts up around here, right here, speaking to Deadline, Dana Fox, who co-wrote the script to Wicked for Good with the writer of the original show, Wendy Halterman, pointed to a specific line at the end of the film that she thinks could be a perfect way to continue the story. Of course, that even happens. There are currently no plans, but when Wicked for Good almost makes $200 million this weekend, that could very well change. And so the line of "I know she can never know that we're alive" is left at that as the couple walk into the sunset. But Dana Fox thinks that's the way into a third movie if it were to take place. And she said, "I would be honored if anyone asked me to be a part of Wicked 3. Fox said, "I think that they are such beloved characters that seeing what they were up to, I mean, to me, the moment where Elphaba says in voiceover, I know that she can never find out that we're alive." I was like, somebody feels like they're asking to find out if there's alive at some point. that feels like hello, that's spicy to me. I love the idea that we can meet up again with them someday. So Dana Fox, who co-wrote the script to Wicked for Good with the writer of the original show, Wendy Holzman, pointed that line out. So listen, we follow with what the culture's talking about. And Dana Fox said it, Griffin Girl, as well. So I'm going to take your comment as that's your take. You know, I mean, we're just having fun. That's all it is. And this is all speculation. Nothing is confirmed. Oh no, you're fine, Ellis Rigardo, and I'm sure Dapper Girl, 1111 she just said her opinion. I don't believe she thinks I am stupid. I know that is the final conclusion. That's what they said. We are taking them at their word. We're just having fun. That's all we're doing. Nothing more, nothing less. So no hate to Different Girl in the chat. So no hate, no spite, no negative energy to her in the chat. Yeah, okay, so that's her opinion. But also Dana Fox said what she said. So I'm going off of what Dana Fox said and also what the culture is talking about. Because if you type in Wicked 3 on YouTube, there are actual videos talking about Wicked 3. Just to give context, conjecture, and connection, because we don't like to cancel out anybody, you know what I mean? Unless you're being disrespectful. Now we gotta have a line here, you know what I mean? But it's all good in the neighborhood. And I'm guessing that these exploding head emojis were like, oh my God, those sounds were cool, I'm guessing. So, yes, indeed. I do love a passionate fan base, though. I really do. I really, really do love a passionate fan base. So I guess we'll stay here until 1 hour, 45 minutes, and then we'll head on out. I know I keep saying I'll leave, but you guys are still talking, so that means I can just keep staying and talking to you guys about it. But yes, for those of you who are wondering what's going on, we just had a Wicked 3 movie breakdown town hall talking about maybe some ideas for Wicked 3 if it were to happen. This live was inspired by Dana Fox, who said that the line that Upper said in the voiceover that I know that Glenda could never know that we're alive. That's what's inspired this live, this tour, this live, and this stream. And then we just went from there and just kind of explored what could be. So that's basically it for this live. Like I said, stay tuned for more. If you like this energy of the channel, like, comment, share, subscribe. We're always covering pop culture, entertainment, media news, and everything else in between. You always are doing something new over here. So yes, indeed. So yes, indeed. Oh, absolutely. And that's all it is. That's all it is. People and fans can brainstorm a next show that they love, the film or the characters. Absolutely, Fortune. And that I think that's a great response to for Girl 1112. I think that's a great response to her. Is, if anything, this is just a fan letter of just wanting more. You know what I mean? So I think that's all this is. You know what I mean? So we're not, believe me, we respect we respect fandoms over here. You know what I mean? We respect identity. We respect the power of storytelling. We're just wanting to see what could be. You know what I mean? So that's all it is. And I'll honestly tell you the truth, the fact that there's a fandom that's wanting more of this, and the fact that there are content creators on every social media platform creating content of what could be. That just goes to show how powerful the franchise is. And sometimes, having conversations like this may not lead to a Wicked 3, but it might make Universal say, okay, well, let's continue this as a universe. So we're actually contributing to more Wicked if you really think about it. So I didn't say I'm responding, just saying what the joy of it can be sometimes. Oh, absolutely, Forge. And you're good, my man. You are good. You are good. You are good. So very powerful discussion this morning. It's 45 minutes after 12 o'clock on a Sunday. Hopefully you are having a wonderful, wonderful day here. Absolutely. So, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get out here, you guys. Thank you all so much. Like I said, if you guys have any final thoughts, please put them in the live chat. And of course, to all of you Wicked fans, leave your comments down the comment section below. What did you think of this discussion, this breakdown town hall? What did you think of the movie ideas? And please be thoroughly honest, bold, and wicked in your comments, but also be respectful. Okay, because we allow everybody over here, but we also got to recognize it's okay to disagree. It's okay to agree to disagree, but still love the fandom. Okay, so listen, this has brought a lot of people together. Last thing we need is something to divide it. And I think there are a lot more people that are like Alphabet Anglican than the Wizard and Malcolm. Just saying. And with that being said, one love, much love, all love. I feel the love and send it right back to you. Bye, everybody.
I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Are video games getting too expensive? This episode, we want to find some common ground because the CEOs want to raise the price even more.
Not with these broken-ass games.
$5 million. That's how much San Andreas costs to make.
Is it their fault for selling or our fault for buying?
Corporations claim all this stuff. Devs say otherwise.
Sports gamers, cozy gamers, whatever you call the people who play Power Wash Simulator.
I think it stings a little bit more because I'm spending my actual money and my mom is not. Imagine they get rid of all movie theaters and then charge you the same price to watch the same movie at home.
That's like every streaming service. It doesn't have to be the longest of games, but am I having fun with it? This is Lex. I'm Ronell. Let's get right into it.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all